Planet Varkon was harsh and wild. The sky was always gray with thick clouds. The ground was rocky and dry with sharp stones and thorny plants everywhere.
The air smelled strange.
A mix of metal and dust. Only the strongest could live here. The people of Varkon. There was a fierce alien girl named Rinna. She was known far and wide for her wild spirit and powerful claws. Her eyes shone like bright amber, and her long black hair flowed like a dark river in the wind. She moved fast and struck hard, always ready to fight anyone who dared challenge her. Rinna was not just fierce for no reason. Her world was full of danger. Every day, hunters and bandits tried to catch her tribe's animals, steal their food, or take their land. She was the tribe's protector. She had to be strong and brave to keep her people safe. One cold evening, the wind howled through the rocky hills. Rinna was on a patrol, moving quietly through the dark shadows. She smelled something nearby. It was the scent of hunters. Her heart beat fast. She knew they were close. Suddenly, she heard a soft crunch. Her sharp ears caught the sound of footsteps. Behind her, she turned quickly, claws ready. Before her stood 3 men, their faces hidden by dark helmets. They were hunters, known for their cruel ways. Rinna, one of the hunters, said with a cruel smile, "You cannot run forever. This time, we will catch you." Rinna did not speak. She growled low and stepped back, her muscles tensed. The hunters moved. Closer, weapons drawn. Rinna knew she had to fight. The battle was fierce. Rocks flew, claws slashed, and weapons clanged. Rinna was quick and strong, but the hunters were many. One of them caught her arm with a sharp metal net. She struggled hard, but could not free herself. The net tightened around her arm. Pain shot through her body. She tried to pull away, but the hunters were too strong. One of them threw a spear. Rinna barely dodged, but the spear grazed her leg. Blood trickled down. She fell to the ground, her breathing heavy. The hunters closed in. Her fierce eyes flashed with anger and fear. She would never give up. Suddenly, a bright light cut through the dark sky. Loud noise filled the air. The hunters looked up, surprised. From the sky came a strange ship, shiny and smooth. It landed quickly on the rocky ground, kicking up dust. The hunters shouted and ran away. They did not want to face this new danger. The ship's door opened, and a man stepped out. He wore a silver suit that shined under the gray sky. His face was calm, but strong. He looked at Rinna with sharp eyes. Rinna tried to stand, but her leg hurt badly. She looked at the man with suspicion. Was he here to help her, or to catch her like the hunters? The man knelt beside her. "You are hurt," he said softly. "Let me help you," Rinna growled low. She had never trusted strangers, wanted to attack. But her body was weak. She could not move much. The man carefully took out a small device from his suit. It glowed with a soft blue light. He pointed it at her wounds. A gentle warmth spread over her arm and leg. Rinna felt the pain ease. Her breathing became easier. She watched the man closely. He did not look like the hunters. He was calm and kind. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice rough. "I am a human explorer," he said. "I come from a distant world. I saw you fighting and wanted to help." Rinna looked away. She was not used to kindness. In her world, weakness meant death. The man helped her stand. He held her gently, but firmly. Slowly, Rinna began to trust him a little. The sky grew darker. A cold wind blew through the hills. The man said, "You cannot stay here. It is not safe." Rinna nodded. She knew he was right. The hunters would come back. Together, they walked toward the ship. Rinna felt strange. For the first time, she did not feel alone or angry. The man's calmness was like a quiet fire that warmed her inside. As they entered the ship, Rinna looked back at the rocky world she knew so well. She did not know what would happen next. But one thing was clear. Her life was about to change. The ship's door closed behind them. The gray sky faded away. Inside the warm ship, Rinna felt safe for the first time in her life. She looked at the human. "Why do you help me?" she asked. The man smiled. Because everyone deserves a chance. Even the fiercest warriors need kindness. She did not understand everything, but she felt hope. The ship started to move. Flying away from the dangerous planet, Rinna lay down, her body tired, but her mind awake. The man sat beside her, watching over her like a silent guardian. Outside, stars shone bright, promising a new beginning. The ship hummed softly as it moved through the blackness of space. Inside, the air was warm and quiet. Rinna lay on a soft bed, her body aching but her wounds slowly closing. The strange blue light from the man's healing device had done its work, but she still felt weak. She opened her eyes and saw the human sitting nearby. His name was Eli. He was tall and calm, with eyes full of kindness.
Us!
Unlike the hunters who had tried to catch or hurt her, Eli did not look like a threat. Yet Rinna found it hard to trust anyone. She tried to sit up, but a sharp pain stopped her. Eli quickly moved closer and gently pressed her shoulder back down. "Rest," he said softly. "Your body needs time." Rinna's sharp eyes watched him. Carefully, she hated feeling weak. Back on Varkan, showing pain meant enemies would attack. Eli smiled kindly, as if he understood her pride. "You are strong," he said, "even when you are hurt." Rinna felt a strange warmth at his words. No one had ever called her strong in a gentle way. They either feared her or wanted to fight her. "Why do you care?" she asked, her voice still rough, but quieter. "Because I believe no one should be alone when they hurt," Eli replied. "I have seen many worlds and many people, but kindness is always rare and precious." Rinna looked at him, confused. She had never thought about kindness before. Her world was full of battles and survival. There was little room for soft words. Slowly, she relaxed a little. She let her hands rest on the soft blanket. Eli watched her, waiting patiently. He took a small tray and brought it closer. Out on it were strange devices, liquids and soft cloths. Eli used the tools carefully to clean her wounds. Again. The cold air from the ship made her shiver. "Here," Eli said, handing her a warm cloth. "This will help." Rinna held it tightly. The warmth felt good against her skin. She closed her eyes and let out a small sigh. The silence between them was comfortable. For the first time in a long while, Rinna did not feel the need to fight or run. After some time, Eli began to teach her simple words. "I am Eli," he said, pointing to himself. Rinna repeated slowly, "Eli." "Good," he smiled. "You, Rinna?" she said. "Rinna," Eli repeated. "Friend." Rinna's brow furrowed. "Friend?"
What?
she asked. Eli nodded. "Yes, I want to be your friend?" Rinna had never had a friend before. Her tribe was small and strong, but she had always been alone in many ways. The thought of a friend made her feel strange but not afraid. Eli showed her small pictures on a device, images of stars, planets, and people. He pointed at himself and then at the pictures. Slowly, Rinna understood that Eli was from a far place called Earth. She was curious but silent. How could someone from so far care for her? Eli noticed her hesitation. "You are safe here," he said. "I will protect you." The ship's walls glowed softly. The room was filled with a calm light. Rinna felt her body grow stronger. The pain was fading yet. Inside her mind, a storm brewed. She wondered about her tribe, her home, and the hunters who still searched for her. Eli seemed to read her thoughts. "We will go back one day," he promised. "But first, you must heal." Rinna looked at him, searching for truth. Was this human's kindness real? Or was it another trap? She tested him by trying to stand. Her legs trembled. Eli caught her, immediately steadying her. "Slow," he said. "No rush." Rinna nodded. She let him help her walk slowly around the small room. Step by step, she felt her strength returning. Each movement was painful, but filled with hope. Eli smiled proudly. "You are strong, Rinna. Stronger every day."
Dad.
Night, Rinna could not sleep. Her fierce mind raced with memories. The cold rocks of Varkan, the roar of the hunters, the pain. In her wounds, She thought about her tribe. Would they think she was weak for leaving? Would they survive without her protection? Eli sat nearby, watching the stars outside the window. The stars were strange to Rinna, cold and far away, but also beautiful. She asked, "Why do you help me, Eli? Why not leave me to die?" Eli's eyes shone softly. "Because I see something in you," he said. "It's not just a fierce warrior, but someone who can change." Rinna was silent. Could she really change? Could the wild girl become more than a fighter? Days passed. Eli taught her simple things: how to eat new foods, how to speak his language, and how to trust slowly. Rinna laughed once when she spilled a strange fruit juice on her clothes. The sound surprised her, soft and light, like a kitten's purr. Eli's eyes lit up. "You laugh? That is good." Rinna looked away, embarrassed. No one on Varkan laughed like that. One morning, as the ship flew near a bright star, Rinna stood by the window. She saw colors and lights that were not on her home planet. Eli came beside her. "Soon we will return," he said. Rinna's heart tightened. The hunters still waited. Her people still needed her. But something inside her had changed. She was no longer just a fierce fighter. She was healing in body and heart. She looked at Eli and whispered, "Thank you." Eli smiled gently. "You're welcome, Rinna. This is only the beginning." The ship moved onward through the stars, carrying two very different souls, one fierce, one gentle, on a journey that would change them both forever. Days turned into weeks as the starship glided silently through space. The cold, endless darkness outside contrasted with the quiet warmth inside. For Rinna, each day brought new feelings she had never known before. At first, she stayed quiet. Her fierce spirit still guarded her heart. She watched Eli closely, unsure if she could fully trust this human who had saved her life. But slowly, something began to change. Eli was patient. He never pushed her too hard. He let her move at her own pace. He shared stories about Earth, a place of forests, oceans, and cities filled with people of many kinds. Rinna listened, fascinated but cautious. On Varkan, her people lived simple, hard lives. They fought every day for survival. The idea of peace and kindness was almost foreign. One day, Eli brought a small, glowing device. It looked like a tablet filled with images and sounds. "Learn," Eli said, holding it out. Rinna hesitated, but curiosity won over. She touched the screen and saw pictures of strange creatures, animals, plants, and even humans like Eli. She saw scenes of laughter, friendship, and calm, things she had never experienced. Eli smiled. "You can learn our language this way." Rinna's sharp ears caught the soft sounds, strange and new. She repeated them clumsily, sometimes stumbling over the words. "Good," Eli encouraged. "You are smart." For the first time, Rinna felt the joy of learning. It was different from fighting or hunting. It was peaceful. One evening, as the ships floated near a glowing nebula, Rinna sat by the window. She thought about her tribe, the people who raised her, taught her to fight, trusted her to protect them. She wondered how they would see her now. Would they think she was weak for accepting help? Would they feel betrayed if she stayed with Eli? Eli came to sit beside her, sensing her thoughts. "Your tribe is important," he said softly, "but you must heal first. Only then can you return stronger." Rinna looked into his eyes. For the first time, she saw not just a stranger, but a friend, someone who cared without expecting anything in return. That night, her mind was restless. Memories of battles and pain mixed with new, strange feelings, hope and trust. Days later, a sudden alarm shook the ship. Eli rushed to the control panel. Rinna followed, her body alert despite her recent softness. "Something is coming," Eli said, eyes sharp. Sensors detect a ship nearby. Rinna's heart pounded. Could it be the hunters? Had they found her again? Eli worked quickly. "It's a patrol ship from Varkan," he said grimly. "They must be searching for you." Rinna felt a cold fear. The hunters had not forgotten her. They wanted her back, or worse. Eli turned to her. "You need to be ready. But you won't face this alone." Rinna's fierce spirit flared up. She was still a warrior at heart, but now she had a friend to fight beside. The patrol ship approached, shining like a silver arrow in the darkness. Rina could see the harsh faces of her enemies through the ship's windows. The starship shook as warnings sounded. Eli activated defense systems, preparing for a possible battle. Rina felt tension rise inside her chest. Memories of pain and loss flooded back. She wanted to protect Eli as he had protected her. The enemy ship sent a message, loud and harsh. "Return the alien. She is our property." Eli's voice was calm but firm. "She is free. You will not harm her." The patrol ship hesitated. Then, weapons charged, Rina stepped forward, claws ready. But Eli placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "Wait," he said. "Let me try to talk." Rina's amber eyes met his. She nodded, trusting him. Eli activated a translator. He spoke slowly, clearly. "Rina is no longer your prisoner. She is strong and free. Fighting will only bring more pain." The patrol captain's voice was cold. "You are a human. You do not understand our ways." Eli smiled sadly. "Maybe, but I understand kindness." Suddenly, the patrol ship fired warning shots. The battle was near. Rina's body tensed. Was ready to fight, but Eli grabbed her hand. Together, he said. In that moment, Rina felt something new. A connection, a bond. She was not alone. The patrol ship backed off slowly. Battle was avoided, for now. Later, Eli looked at Rina. "With pride, you are brave." Rina smiled faintly. "I fight for those I trust," Eli nodded. "And trust me." Days passed with new lessons and quiet moments.
Ow.
Rina learned more about peace and strength beyond fighting. She even laughed once. A soft sound like a kitten's purr. Her fierce spirit was still there, but a gentle heart was growing too. The ship moved onward through the stars. Rina and Eli were no longer just stranger and stranger. They were friends and maybe something more. But deep inside, Rina knew this was only the beginning of a long journey, one filled with danger, trust, and hope. The quiet calm inside the ship was shattered one morning by a sudden, sharp alarm. Red lights flashed across the walls, and the soft hum of the engines changed to a harsh roar. Rina's eyes snapped open. She sat up quickly, her fierce instincts. Returning instantly, Eli was already at the control panel, his hands moving fast over the buttons. "We have company," he said, his voice steady but serious. "Hostile ships are closing in." Rina's heart pounded. She knew the feeling. Danger was near. She moved to stand, but felt a sharp pain in her leg. The wound from the hunters was not fully healed. She gritted her teeth, but refused to show weakness. The starship's sensors showed a fleet of small, fast ships approaching from Varkon's direction. The same hunters who had chased her before, and maybe others with them. "They want you." "Back," Eli said quietly. Rina's amber eyes burned with anger. "I will not go back," she growled. "I will fight." Eli nodded. "Good, but we need to protect more than just you. The ship has people who trust us." Rina looked around. The ship. Several humans and aliens had gathered, their faces tense. They looked to Eli and Rina for hope. Eli handed her a light armor suit, made of flexible but strong material. "This will help," he said. "You'll move faster and be better protected." Rina put on the armor, feeling its weight but also its power. She flexed her fingers inside the gloves. Feeling ready to fight, the ship's alarm blared louder as the enemy ships closed in. The metal walls shook with the first blasts of laser fire. Rina took a deep breath and followed Eli to the ship's battle station. He handed her a plasma blade, a weapon that glowed with blue light and felt warm in her hand. "This is not like your claws," Eli said, "but it will cut through enemy ships if you use it right." Rina nodded, gripping the blade tightly. The fight was about to begin. Outside, the battle was fierce. Starship's shields held strong, but the enemy fired relentlessly. Bright flashes lit the darkness of space. The ship shook from the impact. Rina moved to a small shuttle bay where smaller fighters waited. Eli handed her the controls of a sleek, fast ship. "You will lead the counterattack," he said. "Use your speed and skill." Rinna's fierce spirit rose. She nodded and started the engines. The shuttle lifted off with a roar. She flew out. Into the chaos of battle, enemy ships darted like angry wasps. Rinna's sharp eyes caught every movement. She struck quickly, her plasma blade slicing through the metal of an enemy fighter. It exploded in a shower of sparks. More ships came at her, but Rinna dodged and weaved with skill. Her body moved like a shadow, fast and deadly. Back on the starship, Eli watched her fight through the ship's cameras. He admired her courage, but, worried about her injury? Suddenly a warning beeped. Another enemy fighter was headed straight for the starship's core. Eli called out, "Rinna, protect the core!" "Stop that ship!" Rinna turned her shuttle and flew full speed toward the enemy. The two ships clashed in a bright burst of energy. Rinna's plasma blade met the enemy's laser weapons. The battle was brutal, but Rinna did not back down. Her claws and skills from Varkon blended with the new weapons Eli had taught her. She pushed the enemy ship back, breaking its engines. It spun away, crashing into a nearby asteroid. Rinna breathed hard but felt victorious. She turned to return to the starship. When her sensors blinked red, more enemy ships were coming, faster and stronger. Rinna's heart raced. The fight was not over. Back on the starship, Eli prepared the defenses. "Rinna, we need a plan. We can't fight all of them forever." Rinna landed her shuttle and ran to Eli. "We need to strike their command ship. If we destroy it, the others will retreat." Eli nodded. "It's risky, but you are right." They gathered a small team of fighters. Rinna led the charge again, flying straight toward the enemy command ship. The enemy fired heavy weapons, but Rinna's team dodged and weaved. Through the barrage, reaching the command ship, Rinna charged her plasma blade. With a fierce yell, she cut through the hull, opening a path for the team's bombs. The explosions rocked the enemy ship. Systems failed, and the ship began to break apart. The enemy fleet faltered. Without their leader, they started to retreat. Rinna's team cheered over the coms. The battle was won. For now, but Rinna felt a deep ache inside. Her leg was hurting badly, and the fight had drained her strength. Eli met her as she returned to the starship. He helped her to the medical bay. "You fought well," he said softly, "but you need rest." Rinna nodded, her fierce spirit quiet for the moment. As Eli treated her wounds, Rinna looked out the window. The stars were calm again, but her mind was restless. She knew the hunters would come back. The war was not over, but now she was not alone. She had a friend who believed in her, who helped her heal not just her body but her soul. Rinna smiled faintly. The fierce warrior was changing. The gentle kitten inside her was growing stronger every day. The battle had passed, but its echoes stayed with Rinna. The starship was quiet now, peaceful like the calm after a storm. Yet inside her, a new kind of storm was rising. One of feelings she had never understood before. Her legs still ached, a reminder of the fight she had survived. But more than pain, she felt a strange softness growing inside her heart. She was no longer just the fierce warrior who fought without mercy. Something gentle was waking inside. Eli watched her closely. He saw the change too. The hard edges of her fierce eyes softened. The way she moved became lighter, almost playful. Morning, Eli brought her a small ball, something strange and colorful. "Try this," he said with a smile. Rinna looked at the ball, puzzled. It was nothing like the weapons or tools she knew, but something about it made her curious. She tapped it with her finger. The ball bounced and rolled. Rinna's sharp eyes widened. She tried to catch it with both hands, and for a moment she laughed, a soft, surprised sound that felt like a secret. Eli smiled warmly. "You laugh, that is good." Rinna frowned. She had never laughed like that before. Laughter was for weaklings, her tribe said. But now it felt like a spark inside her chest, bright and warm. Days passed, and Rinna played with the ball more. She even tried to teach Eli how to catch it. Their laughter filled the quiet halls of the ship. One afternoon, as the ship floated, near a glowing star, Rinna sat by the window, her hands wrapped around the ball. She thought about her tribe and her home, a harsh world where only the strong survived. But here, in this ship with Eli, she was learning something new. Kindness, trust, friendship. She looked at Eli, who was repairing a broken console. His face was calm and patient, full of quiet strength. Rinna's voice was soft when she spoke. "Eli, why do you stay with me? I am not easy to love." Eli looked up and smiled gently. "Because you are more than you know. You have a gentle heart inside the fierce warrior." Rinna's amber eyes met his. For the first time, she believed it might be true. That night, she dreamed of her tribe. But they were different, smiling, playing, living without fear. She woke with a start, her heart pounding. She knew the hunters still searched for her. The war was far from over, but now, Rinna was no longer alone in the fight. She and Eli were partners, a team bound by trust and hope. One evening while walking through the ship's garden, a small space filled with strange plants and soft light, Rinna felt a sudden weakness. Her leg gave out, and she fell to the ground. Eli rushed to her side. "Your wound," he said, worried. "It is worse." Rinna gritted her teeth but nodded. She had tried to ignore the pain, but now it was clear she needed help. Eli carried her gently to the medical bay. He worked carefully, using advanced tools and medicines from his world. Hours passed. Rinna lay still, feeling safe for the first time in a long time when she woke. Eli was there, holding her hand. "You are strong," he said softly. "But even the strongest need care." Rinna smiled weakly. "Thank you, Eli." As days passed, Rinna's body healed more quickly. But even more important was the healing of her heart. She found herself resting her head on Eli's shoulder during quiet moments. She learned to trust his touch and his voice. One afternoon, Eli showed her a small creature, a tiny alien animal with soft fur and big eyes. It climbed onto Rinna's lap, purring softly. Rinna laughed, a clear, gentle sound. "A kitten," she said, surprised. Eli nodded. "Yes, a friend." The kitten's warmth comforted her. She stroked its fur, feeling a tenderness she had never known. For the first time, Rinna understood what it meant to be gentle, not weak, but strong in a different way. The fierce warrior inside her was still there. But now she had a new side, a gentle heart that could love and be loved. That night, as the ship sailed through the stars, Rinna looked at the sky and whispered, "I am ready to face her past, ready to fight for her future, but also ready to live with kindness." Eli smiled from beside her. Together, the journey was far from over. Challenges and dangers still waited, but now, Rinna was not just a fierce alien girl. She was a gentle kitten, fierce and soft, strong and kind, and with Eli by her side, she was unstoppable. The quiet warmth inside the ship was a sharp contrast to the storm brewing in Rinna's heart. Though her body was healing, her mind was restless. Memories she had tried to forget clawed their way back. She stood by the window, staring out into the endless stars, her amber eyes distant and troubled. Eli approached quietly, sensing her struggle. "What weighs on your mind, Rinna?" She hesitated, but then spoke softly. "My past, my people, the war, the pain." Eli nodded, understanding the burden. "You don't have to face it alone." Rinna took a deep breath. "I must return. To Varkin, the war spreads. My tribe needs me." Eli's eyes grew serious. "It will be dangerous, but I will go with you." For the first time, Rinna felt a true partnership, not just of survival, but of trust. The ship altered its course, heading toward the rocky, scarred planet she once called home. As the ship entered Varkin's orbit, Rinna's heart pounded. She saw the broken landscapes, forests burned, villages empty, and smoke rising in the distance. Her tribe was fighting a desperate battle against enemies who wanted to control their land and power. The ship landed on a rough plain near the tribe's stronghold. Rinna stepped out, her armor shining faintly under the pale sun. She heard the sounds of battle nearby, shouts, clashes, and the cries of the wounded. Rinna moved swiftly toward the sounds. Her legs were strong, her mind focused. She found her people locked in fierce combat with a group of armed invaders. Her tribe's warriors fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. Rinna stepped into the fight like a shadow. Her plasma blade gleamed as she struck down enemy after enemy. Her fierce war cry echoed through the valley, rallying her people. They fought harder, inspired by her strength and presence. But amidst the battle, Rinna's mind flashed to darker memories. Friends lost, betrayals, and pain that had made her shut her heart. She fought with skill and fury. But part of her wondered if this endless violence was the answer. After the battle, the tribe's elders approached her. Their faces were grim but hopeful. "You have changed," one said. "Not just in body, but in spirit." Rinna nodded slowly. "I have learned there is more than fighting." Another elder spoke. "We need your strength and your wisdom. The war is not just with guns and claws, but with hearts and minds." Rinna looked at Eli, who had followed her quietly. She knew the road ahead would not be easy. That night, around a fire, Rinna shared her story of the human who saved her, taught her kindness, and helped her heal. Her tribe listened, some with doubt, others with curiosity. One warrior asked, "Can a warrior who learns kindness still protect us?" Rinna's eyes shone. "Yes, strength is not just in battle, but in knowing when to fight and when to forgive." Eli spoke gently. "We can find peace together, but it starts with trust." The tribe was divided, but a new hope had begun to grow. In the days that followed, Rinna worked to unite her people. She taught them the lessons she had learned: to fight fiercely when needed, but to also seek peace. She and Eli helped rebuild homes, tended to the wounded, and planned defenses with wisdom. Slowly, the tribe's spirit changed. We were no longer just survivors, but a family with hope. But danger still loomed. The enemy forces were strong and ruthless. One morning, scouts brought urgent news. A massive enemy army was approaching. Rinna stood before her tribe, her heart steady. "We will face this together, not as fighters alone, but as a united people." Eli stood beside her, ready to support. The battle would be the greatest test of their strength and unity. But Rinna was no longer the lone fierce warrior. She was a leader, a gentle heart with the courage to face her past and fight for a better future. As the enemy army drew near, the stars watched silently, and Rinna prepared to write a new chapter for her tribe and herself, one of strength. The battlefield was silent now. Smoke from the last fight drifted slowly into the sky, mixing with the pale light of dawn. Rinna stood on a small hill overlooking her tribe's land, scarred but alive. Beside her, Eli watched quietly. Together, they'd faced the darkness of war, the pain of loss, and the challenge of change. Rinna felt a strange calm inside. The fierce warrior she once was had not disappeared, but a gentle heart had grown beside it, stronger than she had ever imagined. The tribe was gathering below, working side by side to rebuild their homes and their lives. The fires of hatred had dimmed, replaced by hope. Rinna walked among her people, her amber eyes warm. Children ran past her, laughing and playing, a sound she had never thought she would hear again on Varkon. One small girl looked up at Rinna and smiled. "You saved us," she said simply. Rinna knelt down and touched the girl's hair gently. "We saved each other," she replied softly. Eli joined her, carrying a bundle of supplies. "You have changed their world, Rinna." Rinna looked at him and smiled. "No, we changed it together." Days passed in a peaceful rhythm. The tribe learned new ways to live, blending old traditions with new ideas Eli shared from his world. Rinna spent her time teaching young warriors not just how to fight, but how to protect and care for their people. One evening, under a sky full of stars, Rinna sat beside Eli near a quiet fire. The soft glow lit their faces as they spoke of the future. "I never thought I could feel peace like this," Rinna said, her voice low. Eli smiled. "Peace is a choice made every day." Rinna nodded. "I am ready to choose it." As the night deepened, a soft sound reached their ears, a small purring noise. Rinna looked down and saw the kitten from the ship. Curled up contentedly in her lap, she laughed softly, stroking its fur. "My gentle kitten," she whispered to Eli. Watched her, his eyes full of warmth. "You have become something beautiful, Rinna." Suddenly, the calm was broken by a distant signal from the ship's communicator. Eli checked it quickly. "A new message," he said, his brow furrowing. "It's from an unknown source, an alert about a threat far beyond Varkan." Rinna's eyes narrowed. "The galaxy is not done with us yet." Eli stood, ready. "It isn't, but we will face it. Stronger. Together." Rinna rose, feeling the power of her journey from a fierce, wounded warrior to a gentle protector of her people. She looked to the stars and whispered, "This is only the beginning." The ship's engines hummed softly in the background, waiting to carry them forward into new adventures. Together, Rinna and Eli stepped into the future, a future full of promise, challenges, and the unbreakable bond of friendship and trust. Galaxy was wide and wild, but they were ready, because they were no longer alone. They were a team, a family, a new beginning.